The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money, money, money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money, 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 money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
I think the country needs somebody who can give us broadly shared prosperity, help families and kids, try to reduce the impact of all this huge anonymous money in our political system. That's how I would define the job of the next president. That's what I think. But I have no confidence in my political field anymore. I've just been out of it a long time, and I'm not mad at anybody, so I'm just happy to be here.
And as Bill Clinton, well, he may be right, but what we need in a president is someone who has guts. We need in a president someone who doesn't care about political correctness. We need someone who's going to say to the Federal Reserve, no more is your job trying to regulate the stock market, try to interfere in the stock market. Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. By the way, I have a brand new video. Go to my site, philsgang.com, and it's a teaching video. And it's a charting video. And by the way, if you want to become a gang member anytime during the show or after the show, call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-GANG, because this is the best opportunity to buy or to become a member, because we're going to have an exciting stock market, because we're going to have a big drop in the market, but you're going to make money if you're a gang member. We always make money when the market goes down. And then we're going to have QE4. That's right. They're going to, once again, interfere. They always interfere. They hate price discovery. The minute they eliminate price discovery, they take the market over, and I'll explain what I'm talking about. The market dropped yesterday again, about 1.9% on the Dow, about 2.6% on the S&P. Now, the reason the market dropped, they're telling us, is fear that they're going to raise rates again in October. They're never going to raise rates again, I don't think, in my lifetime. If they do, it will be a tremendous disaster. That is why, once again, we heard Aunt B, she almost having a nervous breakdown the last time she went out and to do a speech. She was losing it, remember?
Some slack in labor markets remains, and the effects of this labor slack and the influence.
It's just embarrassing, just painful to watch. Why is she falling apart? Why is she having a nervous breakdown? Because she knows everything she's trying is not working. She's an educator. She's not a business person. She's always been in the classroom. Everything is assumptions. She doesn't know how to run anything. It's overwhelming her. The Federal Reserve is overwhelming her. She thinks by controlling the dollar and she can control the stock market. That's not her job. Her job is not to make sure the market doesn't go down. That's not her job. And she's overwhelmed. Look. We're going to be told again after this market drops, what we're going to do is we're going to have a drop in the stock market about another 2,000 points. We're going to complete the drop that started a few weeks ago, the 1,900-point drop. They came in and they interfered. They interfered in price discovery. And what's going to happen is we're going to finish that drop. We're going to go down an additional 2,000 points. Then they're going to come in with QE4. We were told in 2009 to 2012, when the Federal Reserve printed $3 trillion, and they put that $3 trillion injected directly into stocks, QE1, QE2 to 3, called the twist. They said it was inject the money into the economy to create jobs, which was a total lie. Total lie. The $3 trillion was injected directly into the stock market. It never went into the economy. But they know that people don't know the difference between the market and the economy. As long as the market's going up, people think the economy is good. They associate the stock market going up with a good economy. They know 99.9999% of the people think when they look at the stock market, it's up, that the economy is up. That's not how it works. So it does not create that the $3 trillion they injected did not create any jobs, did not improve the economy. Here's what it does. It artificially grows the stock values. From 2009 to 2012, with that $3 trillion injection, not counting the $4 trillion of injection of cash they gave to companies to buy their own stocks back, stock values grew 5 times faster than their profits. Let me say again, their stock prices went up 5 times faster than their profits. What are you, nuts? What they do is when they know there's a problem, the Federal Reserve comes in and they get rid of capitalism. They get rid of the free marketplace. They eliminate price discovery when they know they have a problem. They have a problem in the economy. The Federal Reserve comes in and eliminates price discovery, meaning they eliminate the buyer and the seller. Price discovery is when you and I buy and sell stocks. We settle on a price with each other. I sell it to you, you buy it from me, I buy it from you. That's called price discovery. You and I set the price. It's like when you go into a store to buy a shirt, they can have $100 price tag on a shirt, but it is the customer that's going to define what that price is worth. If nobody buys the shirt at $100, then the store drops it down to $80. Nobody buys it at $80, the store drops it down to $10, to where they get people to buy. Well, what they have done with the stock market, because the economy is so bad, so terrible, and they need to keep the stock market up to mask how bad the economy is, they got rid of you and me. They got rid of price discovery. They took us out of the system. They took us out of the process of buying and selling. You see? So the price of stocks are based on the performance of the economy and profits margins. You and I decide what we're going to pay for GE based on the company's performance, based on their profits, based on how the economy is doing. We buy Starbucks based on how the economy is doing, how the performance of their company is doing. But they removed that. The Fed intervenes and says, no, we don't need people, we don't need Phil, and we don't need Bob to negotiate price of stocks going back and forth. We're going to intervene, and we're going to tell everybody where the price is going to be. We're going to intervene in the capitalist system. We're going to intervene. We're going to do some financial construction here. We're going to do some financial engineering here. So the Fed intervenes by injecting trillions of printed money, and they start buying the stocks, eliminating you and me, eliminating price discovery. The negative results of eliminating you and me and price discovery through you and I bidding on stocks, the values of stocks go straight up. And they went up 5 times faster than the profits of a company. So if I like buying GE, that's the stock I like, stock prices went up 5 times faster by eliminating me and Bob. As long as Bob and I were eliminated, we weren't participating in the process of negotiating the stock price back and forth with each other based on the economy, based on the company's performance. They eliminated us. They come in, the Fed, and they inject trillions into the stock, buy it themselves, and push the price up themselves. 5 times faster than profits. That's called a bubble. A bubble. The negative part of QE is that bubble. Now, they even make it worse. By 2012, they're doing stock buybacks. That's another part of QE, where the Fed prints trillions of dollars to give to company CEOs to purchase their own stocks to drive earnings per shares up and their stock prices up even higher, artificial. By shrinking the number of shares, they then distribute profits over fewer shares. It increases artificially the earnings per share in the stock price. All fake, all artificial, to create even more of a bubble, causing the PE ratios and the value of the stock in the market to be much higher than it should be. We'll be right back after this break.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Middle-class economics works.
Works? Where? Show me where it works. You tell us the unemployment rate is 5.1%, and you only get to 5.1% by making sure people don't have a job. Think of August. August, the unemployment rate went down to 5.1% because 200,000 people couldn't find a job. If they found a job, our unemployment rate would be at 10%. Isn't this amazing? Hi, I'm Phil Grandy of Phil'sGang.com. Aren't you sick of this stuff? Aren't you sick of these politicians? They keep lying to us. And you know, Wall Street does too. And how many times have you said, boy, I hate Wall Street. I hate the stock market. But that's the best place in the world to make money. But you need a lesson. You need a lesson on how to invest. That's where I come in. Join my gang, Phil'sGang.com. It's the best teaching format in the country when you want to learn how to invest in stocks. Phil'sGang.com.
For more information, go to Phil'sGang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264. At Phil'sGang.com, we promote core technicals and chart analysis that enables each Phil's Gang member to be the best investor they can be. At Phil'sGang.com, stock investing is defined in detail by the Phil's Gang standards. Working together, we achieve our goals and ultimately provide a truly unique profit-taking experience for our members. This is what Phil'sGang.com does, and no one does it better than the off-the-Wall Street maverick, Phil Grandy. For over 15 years, Phil coaches and teaches that stock investing diversity goes beyond fundamentals and stories. We believe that amazing things happen when people invest in themselves by following Phil's format and recommendations. At Phil'sGang.com, we believe in the desire to embrace, build, and deliver on our core values and promises. And for over 15 years, Phil Grandy has delivered on that promise. For more information, go to Phil'sGang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy of Phil'sGang.com. You know, this last 1,900-point drop in the stock market scared everybody. They called it a crash. But here at Phil's Gang, we call it an opportunity. Why? Because I taught my students how to read a chart. And here's the problem in this industry. You go somewhere to learn how to drive a car, but you never go anywhere to learn how to invest in a stock. Well, you'll do that here at Phil's Gang. Join my gang. Phil'sGang.com, the best teaching format in the country when it comes to stocks.
Go to Phil'sGang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy of Phil's Gang. You know, on May 29th, I warned that a stock market crash was coming. I also warned in July. Both times, I was watching my technology, my PT2 chart, and it turned from green to red. Both in May and July, we had substantial warnings. We saw the industrials fall. We saw that the market, the Chinese market was falling, was getting worse. Oil was falling. Copper was falling. Everything was falling. But again, CNBC was telling you, hey, things are cheap, diversified, everything's wonderful. But my chart was giving me something different. And on both those occasions, both in May and July, I told my gang, let's short the stock market now because my PT2 chart indicated a sell-off was coming in. And we did. And we had a wonderful ride all the way down. Join my gang, Phil's Gang.
For more information, go to Phil'sGang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
St. Jude is amazing. A family member said, well, if you go to St. Jude, you don't have to pay anything. And I didn't believe it. They take care of our housing. They take care of our food. In addition to the best medical treatment that my daughter could ever have. So it allows me to focus on my daughter and getting her better.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, Phil'sGang.com, Phil's Gang Radio Show. You know, we just went through a 1,900-point stock market drop, fastest drop ever in 2 days. Most of you panicked. At Phil's Gang, we didn't look at it as a crash. We looked at it as an opportunity because we were short. Why? Because I was able to teach my students how to read a chart, so in advance, they would know that the market was going to go down. It's all about learning. It's always amazed me how our whole life, someone teaches us to play baseball, someone teaches us to ski, someone teaches us how to drive a car. But but there's nobody there to teach you how to invest in a stock. And that's where I come in. I think I have the best teaching format in the country. Check it out. It's philsgang.com. So you'll be so comfortable, you don't care if the market's going down or the market's going up. Join my gang, philsgang.com.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264. 877-600-4264. Put your money to work. Make your investments pay. Listen to Phil Grandy and philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. Let me give you the number, 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-GANG. Go to my site, philsgang.com. I have a free charting class, Maybe then you would join the gang. When you look at this charting class, it's free, it's ideal, it's all about charts. It's charting. It's following the money that the institutions go in and buy stocks with, so we can buy, we get the pricing, and then we also know when they're taking their money out by using a chart, so we can make sure we keep our profits, and more than that, we can short. We are going to have such a dynamic shorting. Oh, it's going to be fantastic. I think the market's going to be at the best point ever, because the market's going to drop another 2,000 points on the 1,900 points it already dropped, that 3-day drop. Remember the 1,900 points? We're going to add another 2,000 points to that. Yes, we are. And then they're going to come in with QE4, just like QE3, and screw things up. People say, so what is wrong with eliminating the pricing discovery? What is wrong with eliminating me and you negotiating the price back and forth of GE? Let the government come in. Let the Federal Reserve come in. What's wrong letting the Federal Reserve print money? They come in and let them buy all the stocks. What is wrong when they do that? Especially when the stocks go up 5 times greater than the profits they're making. Hell, I'm making a lot of money. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? The problem is that's called a bubble. What's wrong with that is this.
Rents and prices are both going up because of lack of inventory. So if you buy your...
No, it's not lack of inventory. The lack of inventory is caused by the Federal Reserve coming in and eliminating price discovery.
Rents and prices are both going up because of lack of inventory. So if you buy, you're on the better side. And with low interest rates, low mortgage rates, of course, that's a plus. We don't know where mortgage rates are going.
Hell, with mortgage rates as low as the historical, they still can't sell houses. We just got some numbers yesterday. The housing market is falling apart. Manufacturing 9 months in a row, falling apart. That's right. 9 months in a row, manufacturing numbers have been so low. They keep coming in each month, worse than the other month, previous month, 9 months in a row. So the reason we're having problems is even with interest rates under 4%, people aren't buying houses. They're not buying houses. You could bring 30-year fixed rate mortgages down to 1%. They're not going to increase the amount of homes they buy, because people do not have good jobs. People do not have good jobs because of the Affordable Care Act, a.k.a. Obamacare, a.k.a. eliminating 28 million full-time jobs, replacing with 28 million part-time jobs. Affordable care has killed us because, again, of government interference. When you interfere all the way through, this is what happens. She says, I don't understand what's happening. Why are rents going up and up and up? Because you disturb Mother Nature. You're disturbing price discovery. When you start disturbing price discovery with the stock market, which is the underpinning of the economy. The stock market underpins the whole economy. You disturb everything. The Fed keeps intervening because the liberals think that the government can run things better than the private sector. So they think, let's eliminate the private sector buying and selling stocks. The federal government will buy and sell stocks, and they'll set the prices. Boy, that's worked out really good. Look what happened with the tech bubble. That's a tech bubble. Why? Because they interfered. They got rid of price discovery. They got rid of me and the other guy who bid and bought and sold stocks. They decided the price. They got rid of us. They eliminated us. So that's why you had the big tech run-up. You had the big tech run-up. What happened? It bubble cracks because it's a bubble. What happened with housing? They came in and eliminated me too. and they eliminated me and the other guy bidding back and forth. They decided to take over the pricing in the housing market. They eliminated pricing discovery first in the tech. Then they eliminated price discovery in housing. Now they have eliminated price discovery in the stock market, called QE. Screws everything up. But it's going to give us a great opportunity because the market has to correct. It's a bubble. It's a bubble. It's a bubble. So that's what's wrong with eliminating price discovery. Eliminating me and you competing for stocks, bidding for stocks. That's the problem. When I cannot bid for stocks anymore based on the strength of the company's earnings, based on the company's profits, based on the company's management, and the strength of the company, and the federal government comes in, they decide it. They eliminate me and you. And they print money and buy stocks. They print money and give it to the companies to buy stocks. Are you kidding? The problem with QE eliminating price discovery is stock buybacks. Because why? Because when you eliminate price discovery and you start doing this nonsense and you start doing stock buybacks, you're draining trillions of dollars out of the economy. They printed $4 trillion to give to companies so they could, again, they eliminated price discovery. They told the companies, go in and buy your own stock. Because this way here, when you buy your own stock, man, that your stocks will soar. So they went in and they bought their own stocks. But the problem with the $4 trillion that they gave to the companies to buy their own stocks, that $4 trillion was drained out of the economy. It didn't go into the economy. It went into a bubble. It inflated the stock prices of these companies. It inflated another bubble. On top of QE. Are you kidding? Which, remember, gives no added value to the companies. No added value to the companies. It always enriches a small segment of the population, the rich, the 1 to 5% population. And the big reason it's bad for these buy stock backs, because they benefit only the top executives who incentives, who their pay, their incentive pay is pegged to the share price or to the earnings per share. The injection of money in stock buybacks creates a bubble, a further bubble, I should say, on top of QE. You can't have a bubble without a market crash. Didn't we have a tech crash? Didn't we have a housing market crash? Now we're going to have our QE crash. You cannot have a bubble without a market crash. A crash is a significant drop in the total value of a market. Attributed to what? Propping up the bubble, printing money and pushing it into the stock market. Letting stock prices go from $10 to $100 without the companies making profits. Are you nuts? We'll be right back after this break. Join my gang, philsgang.com.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
From the perspective of the U.S. economy, I think we've seen continuing signs of strength.
Continuing signs of strength? What are you, nuts? Household spending dropped to its lowest level since 2008. Retail sales dropped to its lowest level in 9 years. Wages to its lowest level in 30 years. Disposable income to its lowest level in 40 years. Home ownership to its lowest level in 30 years. What's he talking about? That's Jack Lew, our Treasury Secretary. We can't trust anything that comes out of Washington or Wall Street. And that's why I want you to join Phil's Gang. My name is Phil Grandy of philsgang.com. Well, the reason you stay away from the stock market because you're fearful, because no one has taught you how to invest. You go to school to learn how to do math. You go to school to learn how to drive. Why don't you go to school to learn how to invest using charts? Join my gang, philsgang.com, the best teaching format in the country when it comes to stocks.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
Middle-class economics works.
Works? Where? Show me where it works. You tell us the unemployment rate is 5.1%, and you only get to 5.1% by making sure people don't have a job. Think of August. August, the unemployment rate went down to 5.1% because 200,000 people couldn't find a job. If they found a job, our unemployment rate would be at 10%. Isn't this amazing? Hi, I'm Phil Grandy of Phil'sGang.com. Aren't you sick of this stuff? Aren't you sick of these politicians? They keep lying to us. And you know, Wall Street does too. And how many times have you said, boy, I hate Wall Street. I hate the stock market. But that's the best place in the world to make money. But you need a lesson. You need a lesson on how to invest. That's where I come in. Join my gang, Phil'sGang.com. It's the best teaching format in the country when you want to learn how to invest in stocks. Phil'sGang.com.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
Middle-class economics works.
Works? Where? Show me where it works. You tell us the unemployment rate is 5.1%, and you only get to 5.1% by making sure people don't have a job. Think of August. August, the unemployment rate went down to 5.1% because 200,000 people couldn't find a job. If they found a job, our unemployment rate would be at 10%. Isn't this amazing? Hi, I'm Phil Grandy of Phil'sGang.com. Aren't you sick of this stuff? Aren't you sick of these politicians? They keep lying to us. And you know, Wall Street does too. And how many times have you said, boy, I hate Wall Street. I hate the stock market. But that's the best place in the world to make money. But you need a lesson. You need a lesson on how to invest. That's where I come in. Join my gang, Phil'sGang.com. It's the best teaching format in the country when you want to learn how to invest in stocks. Phil'sGang.com.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
Be sure to watch the Phil's Gang Show with Phil Grande, weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on various devices like smartphones, tablets, your computer, and more. Get free access to the Phil's Gang Show right in your hands at home or on the go. Simply go to philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com and click on the Listen Live link. And we'll see you on the charts.
At philsgang.com, we promote core technicals and chart analysis that enables each Phil's Gang member to be the best investor they can be. At philsgang.com, stock investing is defined in detail by the Phil's Gang standards. Working together, we achieve our goals and ultimately provide a truly unique profit-taking experience for our members. This is what philsgang.com does, and no one does it better than the off-the-Wall Street maverick, Phil Grandy. For over 15 years, Phil coaches and teaches that stock investing diversity goes beyond fundamentals and stories. We believe that amazing things happen when people invest in themselves by following Phil's format and recommendations. At philsgang.com, we believe in the desire to embrace, build, and deliver on our core values and promises. And for over 15 years, Phil Grandy has delivered on that promise. For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. There is only one talk show host, Phil Grandy, who delivers both social and financial talk. Not even Hannity or Rush can deliver a 1-2 punch like that. That's Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. Phil Grandy is unique, the industry leader, the first talk show host ever to combine social issues and finance into winning stock market ideas. That's Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Show. This segment is brought to you by the Phil's Gang video channel on YouTube.com.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. Join my gang. Let me give you a number. 877-800-4264. 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264 or 877-600-GANG. You can join my gang. Perfect time to join. We're going to have another collapse. We're in a magnificent bubble. It's going to crack, just like the tech bubble cracked, the housing bubble cracked, because of the interference, because the Federal Reserve eliminated price discovery, meaning they eliminated you and me bidding the stocks, based on what we perceive the strength of the company, what we perceive as the strength of the economy. They moved us out because they didn't want us to perceive the strength of the economy or the strength of the company. They thought they would do a better job by printing the money themselves, and they go in and buy all the stocks, and therefore the stocks went up 5 times faster than profits. That's called a bubble. They did the same thing in the tech. They did the same thing in the housing bubble. Now they're doing it again. So you're going to have a great opportunity because with me, you're going to be okay. With me, you're going to be okay. When this market cracks, you're going to be okay. Wasn't I the one to tell you to start shorting the market when it was at $212, the S&P, back in May of this year? Wasn't I the one that told you, using my chart, if you didn't short at $212 in May of this year, I said in the last week of July, I said start shorting now if you missed, because we see more money coming out of this market than ever before. Wasn't I the one that told you? And didn't the market drop? And my gang's doing just fine. So here's what I want you to do. Go to my site, philsgang.com. Take a look at the free video. I have a free charting lesson. And I have a wonderful chart that people use that are just too busy. They work all day. They don't want to learn anything. They don't want to take the time to learn anything. They just want to make money. It's called my PT2. All you have to know is when it turns from green to red, you sell short. When it turns from red to green, you buy. Check it out. Okay. I've been talking to you about these bubbles. We have done nothing but create the bubble. This government has created, the Federal Reserve has created a bubble. A big bubble. Now, listen to this.
Republicans keep saying, well, you don't want big government. Well, in a way, you have a very big government in one sense. You got the Federal Reserve, and the Federal Reserve really is a huge force. And I obviously think, and I've said it, so I say obviously, that the Fed should have raised the interest rates 6-8 months ago. It's a real problem, and this is one of the major problems that we're building here. For 5 years, you haven't, or more than that, from 2009, you haven't had an interest rate increase here. It's close to zero, and that builds huge bubbles in an economy.
Because when you keep interest rates at zero, they keep interest rates at zero so they can run the stock market up. That's why they keep it at zero, to artificially run earnings and run prices of stocks. They're all fake. Now, as I told you, the problem with QE, it eliminates price discovery. We're going to have QE4. Yes, we are. After we drop another 2,000 points, which I want you to participate with me, please, you're going to be okay when this market drops. I want you to follow me. I'm your coach. I'm going to be with you. Ask my gang members. I've been doing this for 15 years. You're going to be just fine. You want to catch the market when it goes down. It goes down much faster than it goes up. Then we'll catch it on the way back up again. We'll catch it on the way back up again. Look. I said you can't have a bubble without a market crash. Show me one bubble we've had without it crashing. You can't. A crash is a significant drop in the total value of the market, attributed to propping up the bubble, propping up the prices. When investors put so much demand on these stocks because the Federal Reserve comes in and they interfere, they eliminate the bidding process, and they buy all the stocks. So you create, they want to create this bubble. They want to create such a demand. That's why they do it, to create such a demand. They're like the pump, the priming pump. They want to prime that pump. And when they create such demand on that stock, driving these prices beyond any rational pricing or any rational worth, for heaven's sakes, we went up 212% the stock market since 2009, and you're telling me that's rational? When we have 100 million people out of work, when we have the Affordable Care Act, taking 28 million full-time people and dropping to part-time people, because if you keep the hours under 30, you can go to part-time and you don't have to pay your employees any insurance. How on earth can anyone say, with the stock market would go up, that this economy supports a 212% rally in the market? It doesn't. What are you, stupid? It doesn't. You'd have to be brain dead to think it does. Yes, we enjoyed it. Yes, we made money. But the important money, the smart money, is going to know when to get out. When Wall Street comes on and CNBC comes on and Kramer and the rest of them keeps telling you, come on, oh, this is the time to get back in. The next time we have a little, we drop 500-600 points, I can tell you, oh, get in. Start cost averaging down, they'll tell you. The relationship between bubbles and crashes is similar to the relationship between clouds and rain. Simple as that. Since you can have clouds without rain, but you can't have rain without clouds, can you? Bubbles are like clouds. And market crashes are the rain. Join my gang. Join my gang. Because of this Affordable Care Act, our economy has been torn apart. This Obamacare has torn our labor apart. And for you with the 401k, you never listen to me. You don't listen to me. I've been doing this for 15 years. You don't listen. You still are in that dumb product called the 401k. It's such a stupid product. How many years have you heard me talk about the 401k? It's the worst retirement fund in the world. It was never designed for retirement. It was designed to screw you. That's when they got you out of the pensions and they put you in this thing called the 401k. And the 401k was nothing more than the 401k tax code. And they stuck inside a mutual fund. They said, oh, we got a 401k retirement fund. Here we go. We're going to take care of all the pension funds. We're going to get rid of the pensions. We're going to put you in 401k. You're going to be just fine. And you're going to manage your own money. And you don't know a damn thing about managing money. But the brains came up on Wall Street and the Federal Reserve and the government said, oh, let's put everybody in a 401k, take them out of a pension where they had professionals. Professionals were managing your pension fund. Think about this. The brightest, the best brains in the world were taking care of your retirement, making sure when you retired, you lived the same lifestyle you had as you were working. They worked for you. They didn't make money unless you made money. They had the best pension managers in the world. Then they took the pensions and blew them up. Said, no more of those. Too expensive. But we're going to put you in a 401k. And 99.99999% of the people didn't know the 401k was a tax code. It was a tax code. Then they stuck in a mutual fund. Are you kidding me? And called it a retirement account when you pay half of your retirement money to fees? Are you nuts? Investing in a 401k doesn't offer any advantage, as the fees completely negate the tax benefit, especially for you young folks. We're told by these planners, we're told by money managers, we're told by these money advisors. And who are these advisors anyways?
What's a financial advisor?
That is a term that means almost nothing. It is somebody who might be a financial planner, or it could be a broker who is really a salesperson.
The vast majority of so-called advisors, around 85%, are not fiduciaries.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
The rule would require all financial advisors to put their customers' interests before their own.
Yeah, they threw that out pretty quick. Are you kidding? You'll never get a rule where the financial advisors have to put your interest before theirs. Before borrowing, here's why 401ks don't work. 401ks don't work because 77% of those who have a 401k, they borrow money from it for emergencies. More on that when we return. Remember, join the gang. 877-600-GANG.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy of Phil's Gang. You know, on May 29th, I warned that a stock market crash was coming. I also warned in July. Both times, I was watching my technology, my PT2 chart, and it turned from green to red. Both in May and July, we had substantial warnings. We saw the industrials fall. We saw that the market, the Chinese market was falling, was getting worse. Oil was falling. Copper was falling. Everything was falling. But again, CNBC was telling you, hey, things are cheap. Diversify. Everything everything's wonderful, but my chart was giving me something different. And on both those occasions, both in May and July, I told my gang, let's short the stock market now, because my PT2 chart indicated a sell-off was coming in. And we did. And we had a wonderful ride all the way down. Join my gang, Phil's Gang.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264. What is Phil's Gang? Phil'sGang.com is a subscription website service that host Phil Grandy has been teaching and providing daily stock investment recommendations for over 15 years, all in the name of making its customers educated investors and helping the kids at St. Jude's Children's Hospital. If you want to take charge of your financial future, then do not wait any longer. For only $49.95, become a Phil's Gang member today. Go to Phil'sGang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, Phil'sGang.com, Phil's Gang Radio Show. You know, we just went through a 1,900-point stock market drop, fastest drop ever in 2 days. Most of you panicked. At Phil's Gang, we didn't look at it as a crash. We looked at it as an opportunity because we were short. Why? Because I was able to teach my students how to read a chart, so in advance, they would know that the market was going to go down. It's all about learning. It's always amazed me how our whole life, someone teaches us to play baseball, someone teaches us to ski, someone teaches us how to drive a car. But there's nobody there to teach you how to invest in a stock, and that's where I come in. I think I have the best teaching format in the country. Check it out. It's philsgang.com. So you'll be so comfortable, you don't care if the market's going down or the market's going up. Join my gang, philsgang.com.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264. 877-600-4264.
Our economy has been moving.
Yeah, in the wrong direction. This is the same guy that told us we could keep our doctor and we could keep our health insurance. Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. Look, I have the best teaching format in the country when it comes to learning how to invest in stocks. People will tell you that. Look, we can't listen to Wall Street. We can't listen to our government. We listen to our charts. That's why you join philsgang.com. Food stamps have exceeded 45 million for 50 straight months, and he's telling us things are good. What are you, nuts?
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
From the perspective of the U.S. economy, I think we've seen continuing signs of strength.
Continuing signs of strength? What are you, nuts? Household spending dropped to its lowest level since 2008. Retail sales dropped to its lowest level in 9 years. Wages to its lowest level in 30 years. Disposable income to its lowest level in 40 years. Home ownership to its lowest level in 30 years. What's he talking about? That's Jack Lew, our Treasury Secretary. We can't trust anything that comes out of Washington or Wall Street. And that's why I want you to join Phil's Gang. My name is Phil Grandy of philsgang.com. Look, the reason you stay away from the stock market because you're fearful, because no one has taught you how to invest. You go to school to learn how to do math. You go to school to learn how to drive. Why don't you go to school to learn how to invest using charts? Join my gang, philsgang.com, the best teaching format in the country when it comes to stocks.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264. Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Show. This segment is brought to you by Phil's Talking Trader Stock Charts.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. Here's my number, 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-GANG. Join my gang. It's so easy to join. And it's the best teaching format in the country. Go to my site, philsgang.com, and I have a free charting lesson for you, especially the PT2 chart. People love this chart. The people who don't want to do anything. The people who don't want to learn. The people who don't want to research. The people who don't even want to pick up a pencil. Don't want to do anything. They just want to make money. Well, I solved it for you with the PT2. Check it out. When it turns green, you buy. When it turns red, you short. Or just get out of it. Go to my site, philsgang.com. Or 877-600-GANG. Join the gang right now. We're talking about how the government, the Federal Reserve, is not the government. The Federal Reserve is a private company. It's no more federal than Federal Express. They control everything. They control Congress. They control judges. They control the police. They control the armies. They control the banks. They control everything, these gangsters. And they control these bubbles because they make a fortune in these bubbles. 400 people own the Federal Reserve, the Rothschilds, the Kennedys, the Rockefellers, the Gettys, the Wahlbergs. They own this private company. They decide when the market goes up, when the market goes down. And what, you're going to buy a stock based on fundamentals? Listen to this poor guy who called me last week looking for help. Listen.
Yes, sir. Yeah, AMVA, and I've lost over $30K in my TD account on it, but it had excellent earnings the last several quarters, and it's Ambarella. They make the cameras and drone equipment. They make these spy cameras for police and so on and so forth, but I don't know why it's so weak these days.
Why it's so weak these days? He doesn't know why, because he doesn't understand what's going on. He doesn't understand how the Federal Reserve interfered into price discovery. He doesn't understand that they eliminated the process between him and me bidding on that stock. They eliminated us, and they printed money and came in, and they bought that stock. And they bought as much stock as they want. Now they don't want the stock anymore. It's a bubble. Now they let the air out. And he said, well, I don't understand. They make all these cameras. They make all this high-tech stuff. They put cameras on drones. They put cameras on mules. They put cameras on flies. They put cameras on cockroaches. I don't understand, the poor man says. Because he doesn't understand what price discovery is. He doesn't understand that price discovery was eliminated by the Federal Reserve coming in and interfering with what we do, and that's called capitalism. Exactly what the Pope said. Get rid of capitalism. What are you, nuts? The 401k system is one of the worst systems in the world. It was designed to screw you. They got rid of the pension fund. Wake up. Wake up. Why are you in a 401k? Why? Are you kidding? A 401k? Over the lifetime of your 401k, you'll pay over half of the money in your retirement company to these gangsters, to these planners. Over half. Why would you put money in your 401k and give half to some idiot who has no loyalty to you? None.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
So you give him money, give him half of your money when he has no loyalty to you? When he tells you up front he has no loyalty to you. It's to himself, his partners, and that's it. We are told by planners, by just putting in 1%, if you put in 1% more of your salary in your 401k, oh, it's going to make a noticeable difference. Yes, take 1% more of your salary and put it into 401k. You're going to do so much better. What, are you nuts? What they don't tell you is whatever advantage you should get, you're not going to get. It's going to be negated by his hidden fees. His hidden fees, $247 million a day in hidden fees they charge you. Are you nuts? The problem with the 401k is it was a bad product in the beginning because 77% of people borrow. You can't have a 401k and borrow. Who ever thought of borrowing money from your retirement account? A 401k is a bad product because 77% of all the people own one of these things. They borrow from their 401k for emergencies. And they leave their job before repaying what they borrowed. That subjects you to an income tax and a 10% early withdrawal penalty. On top of the fact they're taking more than half of your money in hidden fees. Before you borrow, you really need to figure out how much you're paying in interest versus the kind of returns you're getting on your 401k investment. An average person sells out about 15 to 20% interest to a credit card company, but the average person only sees a return of 5% on a 401k going into the hole. 401k was never designed for retirement. It was designed for the financial advisors to get wealthy. Don't you get that? But you have an alternative. You can learn how to put money in the market yourself, and you can buy a stock. You'll know when to get out. You'll know when to act. But you need an education. That's where I come from. That's what I do. And I designed 2 charts to make it so easy for you, so that you can take advantage when this bubble crack, and this is the biggest bubble we had, this bubble is going to crack, be a worse bubble than the tech bubble and the house bubble combined. This QE has blown the stock market up way beyond the tech market, way beyond the housing market. Put it on a chart and you'll see. 401ks were never designed for retirement. Never. And they duped you into thinking they were. They duped you into thinking they were. Oh, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine with a 401k. You can be Trump. You can be Buffett. You can make your own investment. Think about this. A guy who works in a factory, excellent at what he does. He operates a lathe. Knows exactly what he's doing. Now you say to him, oh, by the way, you have $100,000 in your retirement account. You got 20 more years to go. You take it over. You take care of investing it. You grow it. And here the guy said, well, I'm a lay operator. Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. You know what we decided to do? We're going to put a group of people called planners, money advisors. We're going to put a whole new group of people. They're going to help you. These honest people. They're going to help you. They're going to just follow what they tell you. Are you nuts? You invest $10,000 a year for 30 years, compounded at 7% annually, you would have $945,000 retirement savings. Now deduct 62% for fees. You lose more than half of your fund to fees. Even well-educated investors don't get it. It's the cost of fees that kill you. Instead, even well-educated investors, they focus more on annualized returns and they focus more on dividends. Dividends. Everybody wants a dividend. What's the dividend? I'll buy a stock as long as it's got a good dividend. The stock's going down. It's crashing. Oh, what's my dividend? That'll make up the difference. What are you, nuts? A dividend is like a cherry on top of your ice cream sundae. That's it. Anyone who buys a stock for the dividend is nuts. It means they should be out of the stock market. You buy stocks for growth. You buy stocks for growth. And if you get the dividend, that's great. That's the cherry. But to buy a stock at $20 and see it go down to 20, 15, 10, 5, 8. Oh, I got a dividend. It'll make up for it. That's like when a stock goes down from $20 to 15, your advisor says, cost average down. Time to cost average down. Oh, wait a minute, let me get this. It was 20, now it's 15. You want me more buy more of this crap? Is that what you want me to do? Yeah, it's a good. And then you get all excited. Gee, that sounds good. You mean before I paid $20, now I'm only paying 15. They called you a week later. And now it's at 10 and you call and say, hey, can I get some for 10? Can I get some for, the stock I bought at 20? It's now at 10. Can you get me some? I'll try. He said, boy, it's hard to get, but I'll get it for you. Then he calls you an hour later. Boy, I had to work, but boy, did I got it for you. And then you call your wife. Go, hey, George got us that extra. The stock we bought for 20? We just got a whole bunch more for 10. Isn't that great? What are you, nuts?
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grandy, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
Middle-class economics works.
Works? Where? Show me where it works. You tell us the unemployment rate is 5.1%, and you only get to 5.1% by making sure people don't have a job. Think of August. August, the unemployment rate went down to 5.1% because 200,000 people couldn't find a job. If they found a job, our unemployment rate would be at 10%. Isn't this amazing? Hi, I'm Phil Grandy of philsgang.com. Aren't you sick of this stuff? Aren't you sick of these politicians? They keep lying to us. And Wall Street does too. And how many times have you you said, boy, I hate Wall Street. I hate the stock market. But that's the best place in the world to make money. But you need a lesson. You need a lesson on how to invest. That's where I come in. Join my gang, philsgang.com. It's the best teaching format in the country when you want to learn how to invest in stocks. philsgang.com.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
Middle-class economics works.
Works? Where? Show me where it works. You tell us the unemployment rate is 5.1%, and you only get to 5.1% by making sure people don't have a job. Think of August. August, the unemployment rate went down to 5.1% because 200,000 people couldn't find a job. If they found a job, our unemployment rate would be at 10%. Isn't this amazing? Hi, I'm Phil Grandy of philsgang.com. Aren't you sick of this stuff? Aren't you sick of these politicians? They keep lying to us. And you know, Wall Street does too. And how many times have you said, boy, I hate Wall Street. I hate the stock market. But that's the best place in the world to make money. But you need a lesson. You need a lesson on how to invest. That's where I come in. Join my gang, philsgang.com. It's the best teaching format in the country when you want to learn how to invest in stocks. philsgang.com.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.